Now, I was just playing around with my ChatGPT, and this might surprise you. I asked ChatGPT approximately how much does the UK government, HMRC, receive from UK taxpayers every year? And it said, and I read it and I'm quoting exactly, you can check it for yourself. It said, the UK government receives approximately £1.1 trillion from income tax. Then I asked ChatGPT, approximately how much would it cost to send every child in the UK to university? ChatGPT responded, to send every child in the UK to university, it would cost the UK government approximately 17 billion per year. Then I asked ChatGPT, how much would it cost to end homelessness? And it came back saying, end homelessness in the UK per year, it would cost the UK government approximately 1 billion. Then I got thinking. Then I asked ChatGPT, tell me, how much so far has the UK government spent in supporting the war efforts in the Ukraine to date? ChatGPT responded by saying, to support the war effort in the Ukraine, the UK government has approximately spent 13 billion so far. Now, the UK government receives 1.1 trillion pounds per year. Is the maths mathing for you? Based on what they tell us, they could potentially wipe out homelessness and send every child to university, not even to make a tiny dent on what they receive in income tax from us. When you look at your payslip for December and you see the amount they've deducted for tax, that contributes to that 1.1 trillion that they receive per year. Doesn't it make you think that it's just a whole load of talk? If they really wanted to, make life better for people in the UK, if they really wanted to send every child to university, if they wanted to stop people sleeping in the streets in this cold, wet country, they could do it, and it wouldn't even make a dent. 1.1 trillion, and that's just income tax alone. Before that money drops in your bank account, they've already snatched that 1.1 trillion. Where's it going? Doesn't it make you think? If they had the will, if they really wanted to end poverty, if they really wanted to end illiteracy, they could do it just like that. They could just put the money where it needs to go. They could build the houses and they could send every child to university and not even make a dent on the amount of money that they've got in their coffers. Doesn't it make you think? People have often asked me, why didn't I go into politics? And it's stuff like this that really makes me think, well, what's the point? What is the point? You just be one voice against a tidal wave of entitled people who have more influence, more connections, and potentially anybody who speaks out against the system, who challenges the status quo. You just get your head cut off. The more we talk about these sort of things, the more we make them aware that we can see the numbers, even in the most simplistic form, that this is basically cut and dry. This is what it looks like. This is the reality of it. And you can check on ChatGPT for yourself. I'm no expert. I'm just looking at it and cut all the bullshit. Straight talking. You're getting 1.1 trillion and yet we can't send every child to university without putting them into debt. And we've still got people sleeping on the streets of this country, and you're getting 1.1 trillion just from tax alone. That's not even to mention all the other income that the UK government receives. It's crazy. And yet we're powerless to do anything about it. Or are we? For context, let me just give you an example of what 1.1 trillion could do for people in the UK today. Well, imagine that. Public sector workers could get a £10,000 a year pay rise annually for 20 years. Can you see what I'm saying? This is what they could do if they wanted it. Imagine if there was a political party who said they were going to do that in their manifesto. Just for 1 year. Trust me, we'd all just be like, you know what, come, let's do that. Let's eradicate poverty and homelessness. Yeah? Let's send every child in the UK to university, and let's give public sector workers an additional £10,000 for that year. Tax-free, even. And you'd still have change out of that 1.1 trillion. Imagine that. It just makes the mind boggle, right? They don't do it because they don't want to do it, because it doesn't serve their interest to do so. That's what it all breaks down to. Because if we was to say, listen, we're going to redirect for 1 year all of the income tax, that approximate 1.1 trillion, and eradicate homelessness, build social housing, give every child a university place free of charge, and increase public sector workers by £10,000 just for that year, just to give them a step up. Imagine that. Just imagine what the UK would look like after that, just 1 year in 2025, if they just said, we're going to make this the golden year for the UK. All this talk about looking after British people, British workers, they could do it if they wanted to. The will just isn't there. The corporations won't allow it, because the corporations need us to be on our knees. I just thought you guys may be interested to know. And the more you dig into this stuff and you look at it just in these simplistic terms, it makes you realize, even if they can't do everything with every penny that they take from us, at least some of this stuff can be addressed with some dramatic, radical changes. They could do it if they wanted to. It's just a shame there isn't a political party out there that we can believe in and identify with, regardless who's in number 10. If they just come out with this radical idea that, listen, we're going to just redirect all the money we take from tax for 1 year on these initiatives, what a difference that would make. Just imagine that. Just think for a minute, if you dare to, just imagine what the UK would look like.